Hello and welcome to Election Night in America. And today we are starting a new series, probably with the House races in America. So the new lines have new districts, and I'm gonna make an election night for this. So it's my first election night in a long time. Let's get into it. We have our 8 p.m. poll closings right now, and we can make some projections. We project that John Moolenaar will be re-elected to Michigan's 2nd congressional district. Bill Huizenga does not have a Democratic challenger. He's only facing a Libertarian. He will easily be re-elected in Michigan's 4th congressional district. Tim Walberg will win re-election in his Southern Michigan district, and my representative Lisa McClain will be re-elected easily in Michigan's 9th district. Now we have some calls for the Democrats. Debbie Dingell will be winning in the Ann Arbor district, Michigan 6th. She will easily win re-election. Rashida Tlaib, the squad member, will win re-election easily in Michigan's 12th. Shree Thayer in Michigan's 13th, this is the district I was born in, he will win by a very large margin in Michigan's 13th district. Now we have some key race alerts. With 17% of the votes in Michigan's 1st district, Jack Bergman, the incumbent, is leading Democrat Robert Lawrence. We cannot call this race because not all the polls have closed yet in Michigan's 1st. Michigan's 3rd, John Gibbs has a slight lead over Hillary Scholten with 41% in. We'll see how this race ends up. This is expected to be a very competitive race. Michigan 7th, Tom Barrett has a very large lead over Alyssa Slotkin with 50% of the votes in. Barrett's leading by almost 9 points in Michigan 7th. This is very bad news for Alyssa Slotkin if these are the results of half of the vote in. Michigan's 8th, Paul Junge is leading Dan Kildee by about 6 points right now. A very solid margin for Paul Junge. We'll see how this race turns out. This is expected to be another very close one. And in Michigan's 10th, John James has a very large lead over Carl Marlinga in Michigan's 10th congressional district. And in Michigan's 11th, Haley Stevens has a very narrow lead over Matthew Donader. And that's the balance of power right now. Republicans have 4 of the seats, Democrats have 3. We'll see how this looks like at the end of the night. And we have our 9 p.m. poll closings right now. We have the rest of the polls closing in Michigan's 1st district, and we can project that Jack Bergman will be re-elected in Michigan's 1st congressional district. And in Michigan's 10th, we have our first gain of the night. John James will win the open seat in Michigan's 10th congressional district. We have some more key race alerts. 79% of the vote is now in. John Gibbs' lead is shrinking. He's still up 3 points over Scholten, but it is getting closer. Gibbs leads Scholten by a mere 3 points right now. Michigan 7th, Tom Barrett, with 80% of the vote in, still maintains a very large 5% lead over Alyssa Slotkin. It looks like we might make a projection soon in this race. A very good night for the Republicans in Michigan's 7th district. And in Michigan's 8th district, it's getting a little closer, but Paul Junge still leads by 2 points with almost 90% of the vote in Michigan's 8th congressional district. And in Michigan's 11th, Haley Stevens expands her lead to 6 points in Michigan's 11th. This district got a lot bluer in redistricting. It's only in Oakland County now, but she seems to be doing very well, and we make some projections. Tom Barrett will project Tom Barrett will defeat Alyssa Slotkin in the Lansing seat. She will lose re-election, and State Senator Tom Barrett will defeat Alyssa Slotkin in Michigan's 7th district. And not a surprise, Haley Stevens will be re-elected in Michigan's 11th congressional district. And that is the balance of power right now. Republicans now control a majority of the seats in the state of Michigan. Republicans lead 7-4 in Michigan right now. We still have 2 uncalled seats. We'll see how they end up turning out. Let's get a key race alert for them now. Kent County just flipped to Scholten, but with 94% of the vote in, John Gibbs leads by 1% in Michigan's 3rd congressional district. And in Michigan's 8th, 97% of the vote is in, and Paul Junge still maintains a solid 1% lead over Dan Kildee with 97% of the votes reporting. And we'll see what ends up happening. We have a projection. Paul Junge will defeat Dan Kildee. Dan Kildee's been in Congress for a while, and he will be defeated by Paul Junge. This is a flip for the Republicans. Another flip. They flipped 3 seats tonight, and They're trying to defend one in Grand Rapids. We'll see what ends up happening there. Let's take a look at the balance of power. And they now lead 8-4. They're expanding their lead. Let's get one last key race alert. 98% of the votes in Grand Rapids, Michigan's 3rd district. John Gibbs maintains a very narrow lead. It's very close, too close for comfort. But John Gibbs is has a solid half a point lead over Hillary Schultz right now. We'll see what the final result ends up being. But we now project John Gibbs will hold Michigan's 3rd district. It will stay in the Republicans' hands. The redistricting was hoping to flip this district blue. The Democrats are hoping to flip it blue with the redistricting in the district, but it seems they have failed. And John Gibbs will be elected as an America First Republican for Grand Rapids, Michigan's 3rd district. We'll see how this happens. We'll see what he ends up being like in Congress. But they win this by a small 0.3% margin. We project Michigan's 3rd. We'll go to John Gibbs. Let's take a final look at the balance of power. That's what it is in Michigan. The Republicans win 9 of the seats in Michigan, the Democrats 4. And this is a very solid night for the Republicans. The Republicans flip 3 seats in Michigan. Michigan's 10th for John James. Michigan's 7th for Dan Kilt. Michigan's 7th for Tom Barrett. And Michigan's 8th for Paul Johns. We'll see how they end up being like in Congress, but this is a very good night for Republicans in Michigan. So let me know what you think of the election night. If you want me to make this for another state, comment below. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.